Hello and a very warm welcome to the English Story Nook. We are so glad to have you with us today. Today, we're diving into a story about a highly successful woman who seems to have the perfect career. She is driven, brilliant, and on the path to incredible success. But when she receives some unexpected news from her family, she must pause and think about what is truly important in her life. Get ready to discover a story about ambition, family, and finding out what happiness really means. Before we dive in, if you enjoy our stories and want to support what we do, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider buying us a coffee on Ko-fi. There's a link in the description below. Every like, subscription, and small contribution helps us keep creating great content for English learners like you. And now to the story. I left my ambition on the beach. The hum of the city was Nandumiso Mamela's lifeblood, a senior marketing executive at Alqualon Tech, a name synonymous with relentless innovation. She thrived on the pressure, the deadlines, the intoxicating thrill of the chase. Project Chimera, a revolutionary AI-driven platform, was her brainchild, her magnum opus, the culmination of years of tireless dedication. It was a project of such magnitude that it promised to not only redefine the company's trajectory, but also catapult her into the upper echelons of the tech world. Her calendar was a mosaic of color-coded appointments, each a testament to her unwavering ambition. Marissa Parenteau, her formidable mentor, and the company's CEO, saw in Nandumiso a reflection of her own younger self, a worthy successor to her throne. But this relentless pursuit of professional excellence had come at a cost. Her relationship with Benjamin Kabir, a man whose gentle, unhurried nature was the antithesis of her own, was fraying at the seams. His pleas for her to slow down, to breathe, were whispers lost in the hurricane of her ambition. Then the call. A crackle of a voice from a world she had long left behind. A world of sun-bleached shores and the rhythmic sigh of the ocean. Her grandmother, the keeper of her childhood memories, was ill. The news was a sudden, jarring halt to her meticulously planned life. A choice had to be made, a choice between the project that held the key to her future and the woman who held the key to her past. In a move that stunned her colleagues, her mentor, and even herself, she chose family. She packed her bags, leaving Project Chimera in the capable, if not overly ambitious, hands of her colleague, Adriano Hossein, and drove towards the coast, towards a life she had almost forgotten. The coastal village was a world steeped in a languid, unhurried rhythm. The air, thick with the scent of salt and hibiscus, was a stark contrast to the sterile, air-conditioned world she had left behind. The days bled into one another, a seamless tapestry of sun, sand, and the gentle murmur of the waves. A strange sense of ennui began to settle over her, a listless, aimless feeling that was both unsettling and strangely liberating. Her ambition, once a roaring fire, was now a flickering ember, its heat barely perceptible against the vast, indifferent expanse of the ocean. She spent her days by her grandmother's bedside, listening to stories of a life lived in harmony with the tides, a life measured not in deadlines and deliverables, but in the rising and setting of the sun. She befriended Melokule Malorgio, a local artisan whose hands, calloused and stained with the colors of the earth, created works of breathtaking beauty. Melokule's art, crafted from the ephemeral treasures of the sea, shells, driftwood, sea glass, was a testament to a different kind of success, a success that was not measured in stock options and promotions, but in the quiet joy of creation. The ephemeral nature of her art, destined to be reclaimed by the very sea that had birthed it, was a powerful metaphor for a life lived in the present, a life that embraced the fleeting beauty of the moment. As the weeks melted away, Nandumiso began to shed the layers of her corporate identity. The power suits were replaced by faded cotton dresses, the stilettos by worn leather sandals. She began to see the world through a different lens, a lens that was not clouded by the relentless pursuit of more. She saw the fallacy in her belief that her worth was inextricably linked to her professional achievements, that her identity was defined by her job title. The fallacy of her ambition, the illusion that it would bring her happiness, was laid bare under the gentle, unforgiving light of the coastal sun. Her return to the city was a jarring, disorienting experience. The office, once her sanctuary, now felt like a cage. The incessant ringing of phones, the frantic clatter of keyboards, the endless stream of meetings. It was a cacophony that grated on her newly attuned senses. Her colleagues, once her comrades in arms, now seemed like strangers, their faces etched with a familiar, hungry ambition that she no longer recognized. Adriano, her rival, was particularly obsequious, his fawning praise a cloying, insincere melody that set her teeth on edge. The obsequious nature of his compliments, his transparent attempts to curry favor, was a stark reminder of the corporate game she no longer had the stomach to play. The epiphany came during a high-stakes presentation to a room full of investors. As she stood at the podium, the familiar rush of adrenaline was absent. The words, once so powerful, so persuasive, now felt hollow, a meaningless string of jargon and buzzwords. She looked out at the sea of faces, their eyes fixed on her, their expressions a mixture of awe and expectation, and she saw the fallacy of it all. The life she had so painstakingly built, the ambition that had driven her to the brink of exhaustion, was a lie, a beautiful, seductive lie that she had told herself for years. In the hushed, sterile confines of Marissa's office, Nandumiso laid her ambition to rest. The words came easily, a torrent of truth that had been dammed up for far too long. Marissa, a woman who had sacrificed everything for her career, listened in stunned silence, her face a mask of disbelief and disappointment. It was a clash of two worlds, two ideologies, two women who had once been so alike, now separated by a chasm of experience. Nandumiso's resignation was a quiet, dignified affair, a final, definitive act of rebellion against a life that was no longer her own. The news sent shockwaves through the company, a ripple of disbelief and envy that followed her as she walked out of the building for the last time. A sense of panacea washed over her, a feeling of profound relief, of a cure for a malady she hadn't even known she had. She called Benjamin, her voice clear and steady, a newfound sense of peace settling over her like a warm, comforting blanket. The panacea of a life lived on her own terms was a powerful, intoxicating elixir. That evening, over a simple, home-cooked meal, Nandumiso and Benjamin talked for hours, their conversation a gentle, meandering river that flowed into a shared future. The ephemeral beauty of the moment, the soft glow of the candlelight, the easy intimacy of their conversation was a precious gift, a reminder of what she had almost lost. A few weeks later, a new venture was born, an online store, a digital gallery showcasing Melekula's exquisite, ephemeral art. It was a modest success, but for Nandumiso, it was a source of immeasurable joy, a testament to a life lived with purpose and passion. The obsequious praise of her former colleagues was replaced by the genuine, heartfelt appreciation of their customers, their words a balm to her soul. A chance encounter in a sun-drenched coffee shop brought her face to face with Marissa. The initial awkwardness soon gave way to a comfortable, easy conversation. Marissa, her eyes softened with a newfound vulnerability, confessed that Nandumiso's departure had forced her to confront her own choices, to question the relentless pursuit of a life that left little room for anything else. The panacea of a life lived on one's own terms, she admitted, was a powerful, seductive idea. Nandu Miso had found a new kind of success, a success that was not measured in quarterly reports and stock options, but in the quiet satisfaction of a life lived with intention. The ennui that had once plagued her was a distant memory, a ghost of a life she had left behind. She had left her ambition on the beach, and in doing so, she had found herself. That's the end of our story for today. It really makes you think about what is most important in life. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is more important, a successful career or personal happiness? Let us know what you think. And remember to check the description box for helpful resources to continue your practice. Thank you for joining us at the English Story Nook. Keep learning, stay curious, and we look forward to seeing you in our next story. Happy learning!